Hey folks, welcome back to North Fork Armory. This is our Prepping 101 video. This is our introduction. So quick topics are going to be why I wanted to make these videos, why we prep, and our beginning of what we're going to prep for, scenarios and that type of thing. So why I want to make these videos. The reason why is simple. Misinformation, not really misinformation, but almost too much info sometimes. When I started getting into prepping, I went to the internet and Facebook pages and other forums and everything. There's a lot of good information out there, but it's mind-boggling how much there is. And you got these people talking about nuclear war, EMP strikes, so on and so forth, and get ready for all this stuff. And the reality is we need to start in a very simple method. So we'll get to that in a minute. But that's why I'm making it. I want to take my experiences as somebody who started out and kind of scrapped what everybody else was saying and did my own thing, and it worked. So I want to share that with you guys. A couple of reasons why we prep. Number one is we want to become self-sufficient. So it happens in a couple of ways. A lot of preppers are also people that do gardening and they're making their own cheese and kind of all this stuff. And that's all pretty cool. Some of that stuff I'm getting into. But again, we're going to start much more simplistic than that. So again, details in another video, but we're going to talk about stocking food for short term. And then we can start talking about being a producer for yourself and your family. So we want to be self-sufficient. In disaster scenarios, there are people that need help. There are groups that help. The Red Cross is great. FEMA does everything they can. At least I think. I've never had to deal with them personally. But those resources get spread thin really fast. The more people that are able to take care of themselves, the better. And that frees up those resources for the elderly people, the very sick, disabled people, families with young children. I mean, we see these things all the time, and they're the ones that actually need the help. Who am I to stand in line and try to take something when I could have been helping myself all along? These people really didn't have that ability. So I want to free up those resources for them. Another reason is for the investment. $100 worth of food today, in a year or two is going to be worth $150. So if you've seen, I mentioned it in another video that I did a day or two ago, that it's better than 401k and it's better than insurance, and in that way it kind of is. If something happens in 2 years and I get really sick and I can't work for a month, I don't have to worry about the food and the water and things like that. That's all already here. I'm still going to have to struggle and figure out how to pay my bills and my rent, or my house payment, whatever you have, car payments and all that stuff. But the essentials for living are covered, and you got them at a cheaper price. So it is actually a very, very good investment. What do we prep for? Real simple. We start with the most likely scenarios. Natural disasters are one. They happen every year all up and down the country, from coast to coast. There's fires, there's floods, there's earthquakes, there's tornadoes, there's hurricanes, there's snowstorms and ice storms. You name it, it's out there. And the stories are always the same. It caught me off guard. I didn't know. And let's be ready. So where I live, flooding was kind of a big thing this year, but I happen to live up on a hill, so flooding wasn't an issue, except that there was the potential for me not being able to leave my neighborhood. And by the way, every place to buy stuff is down the hill, so that would have been a problem. But I had food here, so if there's a flood and it lasted a couple of days until they got roads cleared back up, I was fine. Major snowstorm, we had one this past year, and grocery stores ran empty or pretty low. It didn't get as bad as we thought it was going to, but there again, I'm ready for that. There are other scenarios that could happen. Riots happen. We've seen them happen even very, very recently. It's not. It's about, if that's happening, I want to be able to stay home, keep my family. We're all close. We're here. I can guard my house just fine and take care of ourselves until whatever that is blows over. Now, that's for the everyday person. This is meant for average Joe, okay, and average Jane. This isn't for, ex-military, we're going to run out and do whatever. This is for, I'm working a job, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. How do I stretch that a little bit more to be able to prep up and save? Because I'm in that situation and have been, I want to share that with you guys. So there's going to be some videos coming up over the next week or two where we're going to look at specifically short-term food, long-term food, water, fuel, security, medical needs. Pretty excited. My daughter, who has her own apartment, is going to come and do a video with me, because I realized all of my ideas were based around having a house and a yard, and a lot of people live in an apartment and don't have that luxury. So she's going to do some questioning of me. So I'm going to be looking at some things too to help her. So we're going to do one together probably in a couple of days. So that's pretty exciting. And we're not going to be political in these videos at all. So that's the basics. We're making the videos for blue collar, just regular folk who need a little extra and maybe some guidance without all of the hoopla of have 30 chickens and make your own cheese and all of that. If you can, great. And you may find yourself wanting to do that in the future, but we start at point A, and that's point like D. So we'll get there. We're going to be self-sufficient. We're going to not utilize resources that could be used for people who genuinely need it. And we're making a good investment with our time and our money, and saving up things for the future so that if something does go south, we're ready. Okay? So that's it. And I did promise to keep it short, so it is short, and we will see you guys next time. Prep on and carry on.